ready. It's not too late, baby. It's all very exciting. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll let you know as soon as everything is released. We're hoping for Valentine's Day, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. You can get all those links through the website, It's Not Too Late, Baby, which I think is currently under reconstruction, but it should all be happening very soon. I'd like to start today by reading a selection from the book. Okay, so get comfortable, everyone. Sit back, and this is back in 2015. By September, I was itching for a change from my normal routine of training in the basement of a gym, where I was greeted each day by the screeching of heavy metal guitars and clanging drums. Although I enjoyed the Zumba and yoga classes held down the quiet hall, I just knew I needed something different. When we were in Sedona, I had taken 2 yoga classes that felt like vacation yoga. They were the kind of classes you think are only possible at an expensive resort when you're taking a break from real life. I went on to my local moms group when I got home and I asked for yoga studio suggestions. And one Wednesday morning in late September of 2015, I walked upstairs and set up my mat at a beautiful light-filled yoga studio. I had worn black capri spandex pants and a bright pink athletic sport top, expecting a regular stretchy yoga class. "Have you ever taken Kundalini yoga before?" the teacher asked me sweetly as I was sitting on my mat, happily soaking in the rays of sunshine through the 3 large windows. "No," I replied casually, not realizing that Kundalini was very much different than any other yoga class. "It's very different," she informed me, probably because I was dressed for a typical yoga class. Most people attending a Kundalini class wore white or light colors and had little headbands on their heads. "It's fine," I replied with a delighted smile and thought to myself, different is exactly what I'm looking for. I was finally ready and willing to participate in all the silly breathing, as I had called it only a few months ago. I watched a man sitting in the front row who was obviously accustomed to all the exercises. He was moving quickly and breathing strongly, especially during this one exercise where your hands are on your shoulders and your torso is twisting back and forth with your inhale left and exhale right. It was like nothing I had ever done before. It was indeed different, but good different. I felt really happy and relaxed by the end of the class. It reminded me of vacation yoga in Sedona. They had a special deal. For $40, you could take as many classes as you wanted in 2 weeks. I kept taking classes at least 3 times a week and signed on for a monthly unlimited by the end of the second week. A month later, I invited my husband, Adam, to come with me to a special musical gong and singing bowl Kundalini class on the evening of our anniversary in early November. Adam had booked a trip to Barcelona for this milestone, and we were leaving a few days after that class. "I would love it if you could come with me to this special class," I asked, hoping and praying that he would accept. Usually Adam can't resist anything involving exotic instruments. "Thank you, universe, for putting this class on our 25th wedding anniversary." I was still feeling 50 shades of insecure at this point, so when Adam sat stoically on his mat before the class even began, I felt unsettled and nervous. He focused straight ahead, and if I hadn't eagerly introduced him to all my new friends, people would never have put us together as a couple. In my fantasy world of hearts and flowers, he would have smiled, taken my hand, and recited poetry. "Eva, oh Eva, how wonderful you are! How could I have ever strayed so far? Here we are on our anniversary day, a new beginning and a brand new way." I took it upon myself to be strong enough for both of us. Patience at this time was still not my virtue, but I needed to let it creep in or I'd go completely insane. Perhaps this was my lesson, as only my marriage hanging precariously on a ledge could motivate Pippi Longstocking to settle and wait. If only Adam could be a little more forthcoming and I could be a little less, this would be much easier. He said he never would have let me divorce him, but I nipped that in the bud before he even had a chance to pack the toothbrush. I still had the feeling Adam would be happy rolling himself inside his yoga mat and leaning himself against the wall. I felt it was all on me to heal myself and love him enough for him to do the same in his own time. But at least he was there, sitting on his mat, ignoring me on our 25th anniversary. As I knew all too well, it could have been a lot worse. Like Grandpa Charlie, I threw in my chips and took that gamble, knowing it wasn't going to be an easy game. The class went smoothly, and in typical fashion, Adam was intrigued by all the clinks and whooshes of the bowls and gongs. We stopped going to talk therapy and engaged in Kundalini yoga instead. I know this inward practice suited Adam's more reserved style, opposed to having him hear my complaints that he wasn't trying hard enough. He resonated with the safe, accepting environment where he could sit quietly with his own thoughts and begin to heal. So that is an excerpt from the book, and we are going to take a very short break, and I am going to bring on my guest, who is the sweet, lovely yoga teacher that I was talking about in the story. So we will be right back, right here on WLINY. This is Eva G. Kane with It's Not Too Late, Baby.
Yesterday, I took a walk in your shoes, and now I finally feel I earned the right to sing the blues. All I wanted was your forgiveness to make the shame go away. When I wore your shoes yesterday, let me tell you that compassion and forgiveness go hand in hand. It took a walk in your shoes for me to truly understand. And I feel what you've been carrying around with you every day. So I forgive you. I don't want either of us to ever feel this way. But they don't live in my house with you. Feeling all the changes we're going through. Yesterday, you took a walk in my shoes. I did the one thing you asked me not to do. Oh, 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 oh. And now you feel what I've been carrying around with me every day. So please forgive me. I don't want either of us to ever feel this way. But they don't live in my house with you. Feeling all the changes we're going through. Compassion and forgiveness go hand in hand. It took that walk in our shoes for us to truly understand. And now we feel what we've been carrying around with us every day. So let's set it down, 'cause neither of us should ever feel this way. Let's set it down, 'cause neither of us should ever feel this way.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to It's Not Too Late, Baby with Eva G. Kane. Eva's guest today is Teresa Banks. Her yoga practice began in 2003 on Long Island, New York. Her travels have brought her to study with a variety of yoga teachers. With a love for the healing arts, Teresa was guided to become an integrated energy therapy master instructor, as well as being certified in Reiki 1 and 2. This combination has rounded and deepened her learning experience. Teresa is a 500-hour graduate of the Yoga Teacher Training Institute in Queens, New York, a certified yoga Yoga Kids teacher, holds an international KRI certification in Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan, and is an international certified yoga therapist. Teresa's devotion for yoga expands with every moment. Her yoga practice and teaching benefit from her love of music, creative spirit, and connection to Mother Earth. She is blessed to be a vehicle for the healing energy and teachings. She fills her classes with love, light, and commitment. She's honored to share these amazing ancient teachings with the community and to guide people to reach their fullest potential and inner light. And here she is. Here's Eva Kane.
Hi, thanks, Eric. Thank you. So this is our guest, Teresa Banks of Kundalini Yoga of Long Island. She's the owner of the studio. It's beautiful, and she's my teacher. So welcome, you're here. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here.
Of course,
Appreciate it,
I've
yeah.
wanted you here for a while, so this is a very important day here. So the first question I have is, what is Kundalini Yoga and why do we love it?
Well, Kundalini Yoga is a type of yoga. You know, there's many, many different types and traditions of yoga. The Kundalini Yoga, it's very well-rounded. It includes kind of everything, a little mantra, a little mudra, a lot of breathing exercises. It really connects everything together. It balances the chakras and all the systems of the body, balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain. There's so many beautiful benefits to this type of practicing this type of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
It brings you very deep into yourself and connects you to your higher self or whatever your beliefs are.
Right, like this morning, I don't know, I did something stupid, imagine, and instead of getting stressed out like this much, it was like this much. Like it really does affect you on an everyday basis, just doing normal things. And if you're a type A, kind of uptight person, it'll help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was a type A. I was a type A and a Virgo. Yes,
Yeah.
big type A. And really yoga in general, especially Kundalini Yoga, has really helped me to become more balanced and calm and less reactive.
Right.
And more of acting from a place from your heart instead of reacting from the head and, you know, spewing out some negativity.
Did everybody get that? That's really important. Acting from the heart instead of from the head. Right. So I told you the story of my first encounter. You were the sweet teacher that said, have you ever done Kundalini before, when I was in my spandex. So how did you get started?
There was a local studio that had been practicing yoga at, and they started to offer a Kundalini yoga class. It was really late at night, like 8 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. Let me see what it's all about. So I went, you know, with just an open mind and to see, you know, what it was all about. And I wound up having this experience, physical experience, that it was so different than anything I had ever practiced before. And I've tried, I want to say, I think every type of yoga, or if not almost every type of yoga. And it gave me this amazing experience. Tough to put words to, but it was amazing for me to have that experience. And I'm like wanting to come back for the next, couldn't wait for the next class, the next class, the next class. And it was offered for probably like 3 or 4 months. And then the teacher moved to California. So that was the end of the Kundalini Yoga on Long Island, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So it just went back to my regular practice of Hatha Yoga or whatever else I was doing at that time.
Wow. Yeah, I know when I take the classes, Yogi Bhajan talks about moving energy. So when you do like that, when I was demonstrating, you know, when you do that, all the exercise, they move energy. And so after the exercise, you sit for a minute quietly, and you can feel the energy through you. So it's really a cool thing. And that changes all the endocrine system, and it changes the brain, and it's really, that's what calms you down. That's how it works. It's really, really
It is an
awesome.
amazing science.
Yeah.
Amazing science.
Yeah. Well, cool. Your studio now is like vacation yoga. I walk in, it's this beautiful green, and there's some retail in the beginning where you can buy all the beautiful bracelets that you're wearing, and the beads and things. There's some clothes there. I call it vacation yoga. What do most people call it?
I would have to say the most common thing that people share with me about the studio is that when they come in, they can feel the energy is different there than any other place that they've ever experienced. Yeah. And so when prompting them to say, well, what do you mean by that? They generally share with me that it's very much like home. It's a very peaceful place.
Right.
And they can feel that, which is beautiful. You know, one student actually shared that with me yesterday. And it really warms my heart because that was the intention, was to make a place where people could come, feel really at home, and feel comfortable and safe enough to go through the practice of yoga and really transform and let go of maybe old stuff that no longer serves them so that they can come to a place of peace within themselves.
Right, and it's almost like a type A person will have one foot in the door in your studio, and by the time they get the other foot in, they're not an A anymore. You know, you just raise it up and you just take a deep breath, and it's really a beautiful place to be.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for having it. It's right in Northport on 25A, right just east of Elwood Road. Yeah, so it's really close to me. All right, so I spoke about how it is different than other yoga, especially that you don't have to be fit and flexible to practice Kundalini yoga. So I guess the question is, who can do Kundalini yoga?
Everyone can do Kundalini yoga.
Can we zero in on these, Eric? On these placards here? I don't know.
Everyone can do Kundalini yoga. It doesn't matter what your body type is. It doesn't matter what your energy level is. It doesn't matter on your age. It doesn't matter if you're flexible or not. Everybody can come and do Kundalini yoga. It's really, a very internal practice. Most of it is done with the eyes closed, so it helps you to go within. There you go. You don't need any prior yoga experience to come and do it. You just really need to come with an open mind, an open heart, and just be willing to see what experience happens for you.
Right. Instead of like, oh, look how low she can get on her lunge, or look at her leg in the air, you're just concentrating on that beautiful energy, flowing inside of you, and has nothing to do with any kind of skill.
Exactly. And there's no judgment in class.
No one is judging or even watching you except the teacher, of course.
That's right. There's no judgment in class, and it's a very inward practice.
Good, good. All right, so we're going to take a little break, and we'll listen to another song, and we'll be back on WLINY with more with our guest, Teresa Banks, the owner of Kundalini Yoga of Long Island on 25A in Northport, and we have her website right here. I just want to mention real quick, there is another Level 1 teacher training in October. I just completed mine, 10 months. So Eric, take it away, and we'll be back.
Can hardly stand it anymore. The only steps my son should know are steps that lead to this front door. Standing tall, head held high, baby, can't you see that the worst in you is bringing out the best in me? Bringing out the best in me. Bringing out. There's a pain in my chest where my heart used to lie. My son should know. Steps that lead to this front door. Standing tall, head held high. Baby, can't you see that the worst in you is bringing out the best in me? Bringing out the best in me. Bringing out the best in me. I bring it, I bring it, I bring it, I bring it, I bring in the best in me. Bringing out the best in me.
And welcome back to It's Not Too Late, Baby with Eva G. Kane. And here's your host. Here's Eva.
Thank you, Eric. So here I am with my guest, Teresa Banks, the owner of Kundalini Yoga of Long Island, right here in Northport. So how did you become a yoga teacher? How did you become a Kundalini yoga teacher and start a studio? How did that happen?
Well, after like I said before, you know, where that they had that class at a local studio for a few months, a few years had gone by and there was no Kundalini yoga to be found. I did at that time, you know, take my Hatha yoga teacher training and kids yoga teaching, so I was busy doing all of that. And then one day a friend of mine said to me, do you want to take the girls to, our daughters were friends, to a yoga festival with music and yoga? I'm like, sure, why not? And it was Kundalini yoga and music, which was at that time called Spirit Fest, which
Okay.
it's now called Satnam Fest.
Right.
And so I went, the four of us went, me and my friend and our two daughters. And we got there and unpacked and ran to the festival. We were so excited. And we were taking a class with Gurumook.
That's who I'm going to see tonight in
right?
the city. Yep.
Right. And a Sonatum car was playing for her live for her
Okay.
class. And I remember being there and just all of a sudden, I don't know, I was just open to the experience and it almost felt like my crown just broke, my crown chakra just wide open and I had this direct connection to the divine or to my divine self or whatever, you know, you think of as higher than you. And it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful moment. I remember feeling so much love and so much grace, and I knew at that moment, I knew that this was
Your calling,
This
yeah.
was my calling, and I needed to pursue, and that I needed to take teacher training and become a Kundalini yoga teacher, and I knew that I needed to spread and bring it to Long Island because it's so dense. You know, in some pockets, it's changing now, but it was very dense, Long Island. You know, very Piscean, if you will, where it's all about me, and being competitive. And not
Right.
everybody is that way, but that's
No.
sometimes how it feels.
That was my life.
Right. It was my life several years ago too,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I really thought that bringing this here would help to shift the vibration of Long Island and perhaps give us all an opportunity to practice a different type of yoga that would elevate us
Right.
and, into the...
Eric, can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
I have such a good idea because the Kundalini is called the yoga for householders.
Right.
Like just average people. So I have an idea to raise the vibration on Long Island. What do you think of this? Real householders of Kundalini yoga.
As a group, real
As a
household?
group. And we'll have a group of the women
Right.
who, we're not worried about, Botox and who's doing this and who's doing that. Our is to spread the message of...
You should have middle-aged DJs with slightly balding gray hair.
You got to be in our group, really.
Yeah, me and all the women. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah,
Okay, you got
that'll
it.
work. Women love me. Yeah, there you go.
But I was doing a meditation, and I just thought of that because I was flipping through the channels, and I see
No, that's a
these
great
Real
idea. That's really
Housewives
it's a
of
good idea.
whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel sorry for these women. I mean, it's terrible to go through life with, like this, and I think
Yep.
that we have too much of that going around, and people are really raising it up right now, and doing beautiful things, and I think this is such a cute idea. Real householders of Kundalini yoga, and we might have to do like the View,
reality show,
like or have at least a radio show, where we can talk about really good things and important things, and I understand. I hate to keep saying type A, but type A people are wound tight. They're micromanagers. They think that's the way it's supposed to be. And when you have
they don't know any better. That's just the way they are. Yeah.
And when you have an experience like you had at Satnam Fest, which I have to explain what Satnam. Satnam is like the greeting. I am truth. It's like aloha or shalom. Or it's what we say to each other. Satnam, Satnam, which is I am truth. Truth is my identity, more or less. So you had this experience as a type A person, and it was like you saw the light. There's another side. You don't have to go through life. I would be like, and I'd be texting my son to make sure this happens, this to make sure that happens. And now I just kind of just go, okay, I need this to happen, and it'll just happen without being a micromanager. You just don't know there's another way.
Right. It's more about going with the flow.
Now, in my book, I talk about how I had to make a lot of habit changes. Okay, so this is like a big, big topic here, because the effects of Kundalini will help make it easier to make these habit changes. Everything is aligned, you're calmer, and you can make these changes. So, I want to tell you something, because that's how I brought love back into my marriage, by me changing these, my favorite word, odious, which means full of hate, these odious habits that I had. And that's what brought my husband back. And that's what brought us back. So I don't know if you realize, Miss Teresa Banks, that you were, and you still are, like a conduit for my husband and me. When we walked into your class, every week we would come on Monday nights, or sometimes Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings. I would zip it, really. I'd put that one foot in, the type A foot, then the other foot would come in, and I would zip it, and I would hand him over to you in a way, and entrust you with his energy and his path. Mm-hmm. And did you have any idea how important this was for both of us, and that's what you were doing?
No, absolutely not. But thank you.
I find that
very honored.
Yeah. No, really. So you said the other day you held the space.
That's my job. It's just to hold the space for everyone, for you and any other student that walks through the door. Just to hold the space and be there, and create a space within the class for you to have the opportunity to, like I said before, let go of whatever needs to be let go of, and be able to come into that centered, loving place within yourself. Mm-hmm. And when we come into that space of love and centeredness, it gives us an opportunity to then be that way all the time, not just in the yoga room, not just on the yoga mat, but when we go out into the world. And so with every relationship and every confrontation or meeting, we're able to maybe come from that space more and more as we practice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it really, it's our place, it's our thing we do together now, and we do it twice a week. And it's thank you, because you're a really big part of that, of the healing. Yeah, really big. And then we talked about the teacher training coming up. So it was 10 months that I did this teacher training, one weekend. It was like Saturday and Sunday all day.
Right.
And the teachers were amazing. And when I signed up for the teacher training, I said I have to see, this is 10 minutes from my house. This is what helped put my marriage back together and keep it together. How could I not do this? But I'm like, what else am I going to learn? And they give you this giant textbook, and you read a little bit at a time, and it's life transforming.
Because the whole science behind Kundalini Yoga, is available in that textbook. And so it's a really, really great program. Mahan Rishi and Nir Bakar, their husband and wife, and they are our lead trainers. Mm-hmm. Mahan Rishi is also a chiropractor, and Nir Bakar is also a massage therapist.
Oh, cool.
So they're very, very well versed on the body and the science of how this affects us, and they willingly and beautifully share that with us. Then there's a couple of guest teachers that come in as well
Right.
with their own expertise
Oh, yeah.
and share that with us as well.
That is great.
So it's a very well-rounded and very detailed training.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I also want to mention, if you go on KundaliniYogaLI.com, you will see all the amazing events that Teresa has at the studio. It's unbelievable, and it looks really beautiful on your Facebook page.
Oh, thank you.
Is the same on your website? The same?
The Facebook page is also Kundalini Yoga LI.
Right,
yes.
and it's just organized so beautifully. You can see all the different events. There's kirtans, which are concerts, and there are workshops and all different types of yoga that are offered there, and it's doing beautifully, and congratulations.
Thank you. I would like to say too, because it's Kundalini Yoga of Long Island, we don't just offer Kundalini Yoga. We do offer gentle Hatha yoga. We offer gentle chair yoga. We have a freedom flow class. We have a class on Monday mornings, which is like a Hatha mix, and it's a beautiful Monday morning yoga, we call it. And also a flow class on Saturday mornings as well. So there's different types of yoga, not just Kundalini yoga. There's a class on Wednesdays at 4:30 called Gentle Kundalini. So again, if it's something that you're never tried before and you maybe want some place to start, that might be a good place for you to start.
Yeah, and I also want to mention that one of our classmates, Sydney, she's about 21, 22 years old.
Yes.
And
Just
she's
turned 22.
22 years old, and she is such a beautiful teacher, and she's teaching tonight.
She is subbing tonight, yeah.
She's
so
subbing.
7:30 p.m.
So if you're like a young person and you wanted to try a very young teacher, she's really has beautiful integrity for the practice, and she'll be teaching at the studio tonight. Do they have to call first, or?
They can register online or through MindBody. They can get the app, the MindBody app, and then look for Kundalini Yoga Long Island, and then sign up that way.
Okay.
She's also subbing next Wednesday as well at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, great. So if you want to try, there's beautiful teachers, with years of experience, and then if maybe you just want to try, a sweet new teacher who is very, very, it's beautiful. She has beautiful energy, and.
So I do want to say a little bit about, we have an amazing teaching staff. We truly do, and every teacher that's there, they're all KRI level 1 or higher certified, or Yoga Alliance certified. So even the teachers that teach that non-Kundalini classes, regular classes, they're all very well educated, and they bring such beauty to the studio. We also have an acupuncturist there 3 days a week, and we have holistic psychotherapy. And I'm a yoga therapist.
Right, I was going to say,
so I do yoga therapy sessions.
What is yoga therapy?
And also energy therapy as well. So yoga therapy takes the beautiful benefits of yoga and helps on a one-on-one. We go through your whole health history. So it's not just about the physical body, though. It's also about the energetic body, the emotional body, the mental body, the spiritual body. And really put together a very individual, things for you to do to help you in your health, if you're having a health crisis, or if you're just, maybe wanting to open yourself a little bit more to your life's purpose, say, or emotionally you need some help.
Yeah, or what about getting out of the negative mind?
Ah, yes. So getting out of the negative mind, meaning with anxiety, being a frustrated type person, or, so there's different things that I can suggest. I do a little bit of numerology around your birthday, and then take the whole package and look at it, and then decide on a personal prescription, if you will. Not a medical prescription, but a prescription for you that takes the whole body into look at all the different aspects, all different parts of you.
Wow.
And then maybe there'll be a meditation that would be given, some poses that will be given. There's always energy work, and also I do sound therapy. So there's usually sound therapy maybe mixed in there as well.
Or like with bowls and things?
Yes.
And the gong.
The Tibetan bowls and gongs, yes.
She plays such beautiful gong.
Oh,
The
thank
gong
you.
is the coolest. Right, we were supposed to be talking about negativity, weren't we? Why don't we take a little break to hear a song? We'll hear my most negative song. You want to play that, Eric? No, we did that one already. So we'll play a different song. We're going to take a little break. This is Eva G. Kane for It's Not Too Late, Baby on WLINY Radio. And this is my guest again, Teresa Banks, owner and teacher of Kundalini Yoga of Long Island. We will be back in a few minutes. Guess what? We're going to do a meditation when we come back.
Stand by your side while we work it out. Stand by your side, though I have my doubts. It isn't easy, but we've come this far, and now we can't be that far from love. I swallowed my pride just to make it through. Cut out a piece of my soul for you. I've made this easier since we've come this far, and now we can't be that far from love. Please let me into your guarded heart. You hold the key to this one last part. If you lose yourself in me, we'll finally see. Then we can't be that far. No, 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 that far. We can't be that far from love.
You're listening to It's Not Too Late, Baby, a Kundalini love story with Eva G. Kane. Her guest today is Teresa Banks. Once again, she began her yoga practice in 2003 on Long Island, and her travels have brought her here to study with a variety of yoga teachers. With a love of the healing arts, Teresa was guided to become an integrated energy therapy master instructor, as well as being certified in Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. This combination has rounded and deepened her learning experience. Her classes are available, her weekly schedule, her classes. First of all, let me give you the website address. It's www.kundalini. And if you don't know how to spell Kundalini, you're going to learn right now. It's Kundalini yoga. That's YOGALI.com. Once again, Kundalini yoga. li.com. The phone number over there is 631-766-5158. That's 631-766-5158. And she's located at 389 Fort Salonga Road in Northport, New York. She has classes Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday. Get the pattern here, folks. You know, she has classes available even on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 8 a.m. Mid-mornings, afternoons, evening classes. The best thing you can do, I suggest you give her a call, 631-766-5158, or check out the website, www.kundaliniyogali.com. And now back to Eva G. Kane, and It's Not Too Late, Baby.
Thank you, Eric. We love hearing your voice. It's beautiful.
People actually say I have a really nice voice. They do.
do, it's
You know,
beautiful.
this is when I do the DJ voice. This is the DJ voice.
Maybe we can enlist you to make a meditation CD.
You know what? I could do that. I could
could.
sit back, relax.
We're
Find your.
going to do a meditation.
I could even do it. Sit back, relax, find your inner being. No, we could do that. I would love that. I would be honored. Actually honored.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so here, this is WLINY. I'm Eva G. Kane, author of It's Not Too Late, Baby, a Kundalini Love Story, how Kundalini Yoga helped my husband and I get it back together. And my album, I want to try to release them both together, Keep You Forever, an album of 10 original songs and 2 covers. So here's our guest, Teresa Banks of Kundalini Yoga of Long Island. We're going to talk about the negative mind and how to get it more neutral, and then we're going to do a beautiful meditation.
So in Kundalini Yoga, we believe that there are 3 parts of the mind: the negative mind, the positive mind, and the neutral mind. And so the negative mind is like when a thought comes in, the first place the mind goes to is the negative part. It's kind of like, you have the devil, you have the angel sitting on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So the negative mind comes in and it gives you all the, worries and the warnings and which we need, right, to keep us safe. And then the positive mind will come in and give you the positive aspects of whatever the thought is. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully we go into the neutral mind and we act from that space, right? So I was just reading somewhere 95.6% of people, they are in the negative mind.
They're stuck there.
They're stuck in the negative mind. And so that happens for people. You may know some people like that. They're always negative. They're always looking at the negative side of things. They're very pessimistic, very...
The
they're
glass
kind of
is half empty.
Right, exactly. And so they get into this repetitive pattern, if you will, of just being in that negativity. And negative energy is vibrates at a very low frequency. And it's hard sometimes to get out of that, really is. With Kundalini Yoga, what happens is it clears the subconscious mind, so it kind of gets rid of some of that, which is fabulous, right? To give us the opportunity to focus a little bit more on maybe the positive mind.
Right, like what happened to me this morning. I could have been like, oh my goodness, the sky is falling, but I wasn't. Because my neutral mind is like pumping, I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's really changed for me.
Yeah. And the negative mind, it can bring us into that worry, into that depression, into that, anxiety. And, like I said, it's sometimes very hard to get out of. And
it weakens all your other chakras, like your heart chakra and your communication and your intuition. And it just weakens them, and you're just too stuck in the fear and the worry.
Exactly.
You're not giving anything else a chance.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the meditation that we're going to do actually is helpful to get rid of some of those negative thoughts.
Right.
So in Kundalini Yoga, we tune in before we do any practice, and we tune into a mantra, and the mantra is Om Namo Guru Dev Namo.
Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. I'm going to put on my little headband.
Okay, and we chant that 3 times. And then sometimes we do something else called the Mangalacharan mantra, which we're not going to do today, but we do that sometimes in class before we start. And that mantra really kind of just brings us into center. It connects us to all the teachers that have come before us, kind of opens the energy for the Kundalini Yoga. And then we'll do the meditation just for a couple of minutes. The meditation is called Eliminating Thoughts You Dislike.
Eliminating thoughts you dislike. So we can all sit comfortably.
Yes.
If you're at home, you want to sit with your legs like crisscross.
Or you can sit in a chair as long as your feet are flat on the ground. Okay. The most important thing is that your spine is nice and straight.
Eric, you doing this with us?
Absolutely. Look at my spine, how straight it is right now.
Keep your feet on the floor, Eric.
I'm telling. What's that?
Keep your feet on the floor, flat on the floor.
My feet are on the floor.
So the elbows are bent, and we're just going to take the right hand and place it inside the left. Okay. So the fingers are on top of each other. Right. And we're going to make like a little cup. Like this. Good. And so the eyes are going to gaze down at that little cup that you've made with your hands.
Okay.
Good. And then we're going to just begin to breathe long and deep. And as we stare at this cup, we'll inhale through the nose. And we're going to exhale through the mouth as if we're blowing out any thoughts that we dislike or any negative thoughts, as if we're blowing them into the hands. It says kind of like spitting, but we really don't want to spit. We don't want to spit, but kind of spit them out, if you will. Inhaling deeply through the nose. And slowly exhaling and spitting them out into the hands. And let the shoulders relax. Let the spine be nice and straight. And think about all those negative thoughts that you want to get rid of. And each time you blow out through, exhale out through the mouth, send those negative thoughts into your hands. Maybe there's something frustrating you in your life. Just blow it out and release it and let it go. Maybe think about your relationships with other people, and maybe there's something that's frustrating you or bothering you, and maybe you can just let it go, releasing it on your exhalation right into the hands. I'd just like to read a quote from Yogi Bhajan while you're doing that, that goes with this meditation. You can rewrite your destiny to its highest potential. Yogi Bhajan said, "Destiny is nothing but the outer impression of the inner image a man carries of himself." This meditation can alter your destiny by eliminating persistent negative thoughts from your inner image of yourself, so positive thoughts can manifest without interference. Now inhale deeply. Exhale. Close your eyes. And begin to concentrate on your spine, from the base of the spine. Think about all 26 vertebrae, from the top of your spine all the way to the bottom of your spine. And inhale again. Exhale. And once again, focus on the spine. Feel your spine. Move the energy and flow. Good. Inhale again. We'll do that one last time. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Focusing on the spine. And inhale. And bring the hands to the heart center. Satnam.
Satnam, thank you for leading us in that
Sure.
meditation. Great.
And you can do that any time to get rid of those negative thoughts or that negative feeling that you're having.
Yeah, that's really important. Yeah, you don't want to hold on to those thoughts. That's a great. I love that meditation.
Yeah.
I hope you did it with us and you feel good. So Teresa's going to tell us a couple of things about the teacher training coming up. Then we're going to take the very shortest break and then come back with my favorite part, moments of weakness. I have the most delicious dessert to share with you today. Okay, so what would you like to say about the teacher training registration?
So the teacher training, yep, the registration will be open by next week. All the details for the teacher training are on the website, www.kundaliniyogali.com. There's a drop down, it says offerings, and then it'll drop down a menu, and you can click on teacher training level 1. All the details, like I said, the dates are on there, the fees are on there, anything that you need to know. You're always welcome to call me if you have any questions.
Mm-hmm.
People take teacher training for many different reasons. Some people want to become a teacher and
Right.
teach. Some people want to do it just to expand their own personal journey
Yeah,
and go really deep in themselves.
I know.
And sometimes people have this thought, oh, I'm going to go teach, and then they're the ones that maybe don't teach, or the opposite. I'm
Right.
never teaching, I'm just taking it for me, and then they're the ones out there teaching. So never, I wouldn't put any pressure on yourself, or you see what
Yeah,
comes.
I definitely didn't put pressure. I kind of had an idea that I could, it would be a way to share my book, since it's such a living example of what it did for me. I was a really high-strung person, and I had this terrible thing happen in my marriage, and, I was, there was a lot going on. A lot of women in their 50s will have ailing parents or deaths, and I had both of that. I had a teenager who was going through, his teenage thing and it was all ping-ponging all over the place, and I think a lot of women can relate to this.
Absolutely.
So, I think I did a lot of beautiful things for my husband, helping him out of, he had kind of lost his way, but what I did for myself too was enormous. I mean, it's not too late for a lot of things. It wasn't too late for our marriage. It wasn't too late for me to change all these habits and go from a, kind of a wacky type A person to, a lot more evolved, more relaxed, more neutral-minded person. A Kundalini love story. I love Kundalini because of what it did to me. We became. I love to read romance novels, and Lisa Kleypas is my favorite romance novelist. If you've never read any of her books, they're so good. And I wanted to write my own, so it's kind of what it did for us as a couple. All right, I think we have 5 minutes according to my watch. Is that right, Eric?
Yes, ma'am.
So why don't we play one more song? What do I have on here? Let Us Break Bread Together. This is a church hymn. I think it's appropriate for the spirituality for today. And then we'll come back with our moments of weakness.
Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me. Let us drink wine together on our knees. Let us drink wine together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me. Have mercy. Let us praise God together on our knees. Let us praise God together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on me.
Okay, here we are at WLINY. This is Eva G. Kane, and you're listening to the It's Not Too Late Baby radio show with my guest and my friend, Teresa Banks, the owner of Kundalini Yoga of Long Island. And at the end of every show, we have a segment called Moments of Weakness. And yesterday we met at Organically Yours, which if you live in Northport and you're into health food at all, you know Organically Yours. It's where all the yogis go and everybody that's into health. Mike DeSapio of Mind Body Fitness walked in there the other day and he looked at the shelves and he said, this is all the brands I have at my house. So if he endorses it, you know it's good. The proprietor, Allison, makes these amazing
Truffles. They're so good.
They're so good. So we're gonna each have one today.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I'll save you a bite, Eric, I promise. So here's
Can I uncup my hands?
You're still meditating?
I'm meditating on the truffle. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm meditating on the truffle too. So I guess bye for now from Eva G. Kane and It's Not Too Late Baby and Teresa Banks of
Thank you so
Kundalini
much.
Yoga while we enjoy these Organically Yours truffles. They're vegan. They're so amazing. I don't know where this has been my whole life. All right, everyone. So we'll see you next time. I think the next show is in 2 Thursdays from now. I think so.
Yes. Yep, there you go.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You've been listening to It's Not Too Late, Baby with Eva G. Kane and her guest today, of course. You can check her out. You can check Teresa Banks out at, let me just get the website, www.kundalini, that's Kundalini yoga.li.com, 631-766-5158. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
When we first met, I wrote a song about your toes. Never wrote it down, so I forget exactly how it goes. Each and every digit had its own personal growth. Ain't I clever with a rhyme? When I first saw you, it was full-length profile. Head was back, bass was on.